the cloud.
Well, welcome to the April 15th, 2025 session of Tapper and HamSCI technical session. My name is Dave, KV0S, and this week I've been working, trying to get ready for Dayton. We've been working on getting speakers and banquets and all that kind of stuff working. Um, we have enough people. What I'm not hearing from anybody at AMSAT. My contact there is Paul, the vice president. Um, but if any of you are AMSAT people, maybe you could poke the bear and see if we can get them to tell us if they have a reservation, and then we can start selling tickets. Anyway, and don't worry if that falls through, we'll move Phil back to one of the tapper session. So next on the list is Nathaniel, W2NAF. Go ahead, Nathaniel.
Thanks, Steve. Things are pretty much the same as every week, just continuing meetings for all of the different projects and trying to keep things going along. We're right now we are in the middle of filling out the SIP, which is a supporting information package for trying to get the radios down in Antarctica. And so the team that was meeting this afternoon was working on that. Dr. Christine Zagzuski did a lot of the heavy legwork on that. At some point, we're probably going to need to ask Rob Robinette for some more details as to where these systems are sending all the data to, because I think they want that information for the SIP. And I think my student, Owen, is also going to want to talk to Rob. We want to make sure we understand where the spots are actually going onto the on the RX888 Whisper Demon system, so we can make some progress working on the DXing and contesting dashboard. So that's about it. Back to net.
Okay. Next on the list is Paul Elliott. Paul's going to be speaking at the
Dayton.
the
Yeah,
Tapper Dayton Forum.
yeah, I'm working on that actually right now. Plenty of time, just trying to flesh it out, figure out how much I want to talk about, various things. But it'll be a little bit of a tapper overview. But Dave, I'm really hoping you're going to cover most of that. And
Well, yes.
good. So maybe I won't need to do any of the overview, and I'll just launch right into some of the product, some of the things that we're doing again with HamSCI, the kind of the product support, synchronization, timing, filtering, the Turn Island stuff, but also some, regular kind of native Tapper stuff as well, those products. And I was going to talk about, I don't know if any of you saw the thing I put up on my WB6CXC blog, but sort of a discussion of dynamic range and, SDRs and filtering and all that. And thought I'd cover some of that in a little bit of technical detail at Dayton. And you know, other details, plan to leave enough time so that if anybody actually wants to ask questions, there'll be time for that. Other than that, I've been working on just various little projects. I just got a board back. Well, it's on the way from China. My 60 megahertz low pass filter preamp with the 20 dB gain. Uh, it's left customs. It's left Los Angeles, heading north to Friday Harbor. So far, I haven't received any requests for additional funds, to kick in for tariffs or anything. I don't know. We'll find out. That had been shipped before the tariffs were announced, and I heard something about stuff in transit wasn't going to be hit. So maybe next time I order something, I'll get hit with it. And that's about it. Back to net.
Okay. Next on the list is Bill Engelkey. Go ahead, Bill.
Thanks, Dave. Well, greeting to the net. Tomorrow will mark the 1 month day after we were hit with a tornado, and my tower and most of my antennas were destroyed, as well as a boathouse and dock that my brother and I had. So should cost about $100K to replace all that. And like the fellow from Allstate says, you could end up paying for all this yourself. So anyway, that's all I have
Twice.
that's all you pay for the insurance and then they pay for what happens. I mean, Allstate has been trying to help me, but they just, well, we got to depreciate this because it's so old and all this and that. So you know how it goes. So back to Nick.
Well, we feel for you, Bill. Good luck with that. Okay, next on the list is Bob in 5BRG. Go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, I don't have anything too much to report. I've been working on antennas and lots of little projects around here, staying busy. I did order parts from Mauser, and I noticed that they have a system on now where they do indicate that they have tariffs, and they say that your extra cost may be approximately this. And so it's like vague until you get your final order, I guess, delivered. So it's kind of interesting. So back to you guys.
Yeah. I will mention something. I have seen some of the work that John Ackerman's doing, and he's taken all of the Time Nuts emails and several of their other documents and made a mini AI database. So you can ask questions and get answers about timing subjects, which I think is a good effort. And it's still a work in progress, but we're moving forward with some of this. So next on the list is Bruce Harrison. Go ahead.
Not much going on here at all. Still trying to move from one QTH to the other and trying to decide which trees to keep and get rid of so I can at least string some wires. So progress is slowly made. Back to the net.
Well, good luck with that. Next is Dave, KD0 EAG. Go ahead, Dave.
Not a lot here, as usual. I have had distractions, but hopefully I have got some of those put to bed for now, and I can focus a little more on some other things starting tomorrow. Well, I'm definitely ready to. Nothing to report though, really.
Okay, next on the list is Dave H, W6OQ.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. As usual, I'm just here to see what I can learn. But something incredibly happened to me this year. Doing my taxes, I got them done on Saturday and they're not due till tomorrow.
Amazing.
I just got mine a couple hours ago.
So, next on the list is Dave Julian, WB9YIG.
Yep, you got it right.
Yep.
Yep. Hello, folks. Just trying to get ready for my fishing trip. 30 some odd years, same bunch, same place. So I'll be out the next couple Mondays, so you guys carry on without me.
Okay. Well, don't eat too much fish.
Okay.
Next on the list is, let's see, David McGaw, N1HAC. Go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. Not really sure what to report. Haven't gotten time on to the new loop antenna that I was talking about last week, but I want to give that a try. As I mentioned, it has a lithium battery internal to the bias T. So it is actually portable. I want to try it handheld as well as fixed um, fixed wing or whatever you'd call it. And yeah, been helping Nathaniel with the Antarctic planning. That's always interesting. I think that's about it. Nothing, some weird things on propagation. What I would like to understand at some point is why 20 and 25 megahertz disappear during the day when you'd expect them to be there. And then they come in later in the evening often. But yeah, interesting space weather. But I guess that's what we're here for. Back to net.
Yep, I've noticed some of those weird bumps too. Next on the list is, let's see. Dave New. Did I call on you?
Not yet.
Okay, go ahead. You're way up at the top for me.
Yeah, hi guys. I've been absent the last, I guess about 3 weeks because we had taken our fifth wheel and taken it out to Moscow, Idaho, and back. And that was to attend my sister's memorial. She was about 17 years older than me and passed away on December 30th of this past year. And I was just very fortunate that I was actually visiting in-laws in Calgary, Alberta, and was able to come down and see her in the hospital in Coeur d'Alene before she passed.
Yeah.
So we've had that, and I did get the opportunity to operate portable from the RV. I have a Eagle One antenna, and I took my Elecraft K2 with a 100-watt amp out, and was able to operate from there. So there's that at least. But we're back in the home shack now. So back to net.
Okay, very good. And next on the list is Elmer. Go ahead, Elmer.
You're muted, Elmer.
I know. I went to
Oh.
go touch the mic and my screen changed.
Oh,
Sorry about that. Little delay. I've been working quite a bit with Jonathan KC3EEY on VLF. Learning curve is steep, but we're getting there. I actually made some progress this afternoon looking at some of the reports that I was trying to collect. So we're getting ahead a little bit. I have quite a bit of noise here and trying to resolve that and see if I can mitigate it or work around it. We'll see. I also changed one of my SAS Glenn's antennas. I went from a amplified to what he calls a medium Z uh, impedance. I will lose my VLF capability with it or even LF, but I'm looking at the HF component and it looks like they're almost matching with the SAS that I have on the other side of the house. So there's some progress going there. I am hammered by very large AM broadcast and FM broadcast stations from New York. Due to my water location, it doesn't matter what time of day I get slammed. So it's been a interesting journey chasing Tom Patatore, who is number one or number two in the world whisper captures on spots. And some of the bands I've actually exceeded him on the LF side with the one antenna. So we're making good progress here. The VLF antenna system, like I said, has been the new endeavor. It's on battery. The battery I just looked at it. It just dropped low enough that I can actually put it on my solar charger system. It was too high for the voltage I had set when I bought it. It's been running, geez, almost 2 days now on battery, and it consumed all of 0.2 volts off of it. Back to net.
very good. Next on the list is Gary, AF8A. Go ahead, Gary.
Hey, good evening, everyone. I've been working on a lot of Ham Vincent prep this week and a little bit of meteor scatter monitoring, and that's about it. Back to net.
Okay. And next on the list is Jay, AC1SN. Go ahead, Jay.
Hi, everybody. Normally I can't make Monday, but I had my class canceled tonight, so I'm able to make it. Introduce myself. I'm Jay Whiteson. I'm the department head of electrical and computer engineering here at University of Massachusetts Lowell in Massachusetts. And I've been working with some of the people here. We're getting back involved in looking at the WWV, WWVH signals. I have a couple of grad students who are also hams who are really interested in propagation. So I'll keep you informed. We've already logged about 400 gigabytes of data. Now we've got to write the routines to process it all.
Very
So
good.
it's good to meet everybody. I'm going to get more and more active. The other thing is I'm really trying to resurrect the amateur radio club here at UMass Lowell. Back to net.
Sure, Nathaniel will welcome collaborating with you.
Yes,
And-
it's really nice to meet you, Jay. Thank you.
I'll get in touch with you more as we start seeing what's in all of the data we've collected.
Okay, next on the list is Jonathan, KC3EY. Go ahead, Jonathan.
Hi, everybody. I've been busy, mainly working with Elmer. Elmer has made some excellent progress. What he did was, with the help of Clint, he was able to eliminate the noise coming from the DC to DC converter. I was wondering if it broke isolation. Hopefully it didn't, but it still quite a quite an improvement. He's also been working very hard trying to optimize the VLF receiver as best as possible. He built another one inside a Faraday cage and a shield shielded box. Yeah, he's been experiencing, or he's been running into the common types of noise that you hear with or hear in the VLF bands, particularly in the natural radio bands. If it's okay, if there's nothing to talk about, I think we should use the general discussion to move forward with Elmer's progress. Because Elmer is making some really good progress here. Elmer, I didn't get a chance to reply to your email regarding your script. Everything actually looks good. There was just one thing that you have to change. But we could discuss that during general discussion. Bill, also, if there's time, but there probably won't be. I know you've been busy with various matters with the insurance and everything else. But I can also talk about the data products from the VLF system, which we're going to have to figure out a way to ingress into the personal space weather system, weather station database. So that's also something we could talk about. I was also talking with Nathaniel, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to get all the boards done in time. So I'm kind of requesting some help. If someone wants to take on the design of the GPS interface board, that would be greatly appreciated. We're kind of under a time crunch that I did not expect. So we're kind of looking towards the end of August to have this system ready to go, and I kind of need some help. It doesn't really help that I can't really spend like 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, um, uh, learning KiCad. I'm kind of learning as I go, so that's kind of been the bottleneck. But I would definitely appreciate if someone would help out with that. Also, possibly helping out with the software image, the Linux image, Debian 12 on the on the thin client PC, because that also has to be done too. But that's not as super critical as the hardware, of course, because I could log in remotely and change things in the software, but it's kind of hard to do that when your circuit board is already built and out in the field. So yeah, if anyone wants to take on that project, it'd be greatly appreciated, and hopefully move us closer to completion in time. That's all I have. Back to the net.
Okay. Next. I see Bob. I didn't call on Bob. WB0VGD.
Always remember a very good day, and you'll always remember my call
Okay.
sign. I was about 15 minutes late for the meeting. I apologize for my late arrival.
Okay.
No, just pursuing citizen science. I'm post-retired from the Institute for Telecom Sciences, and I've been experimenting with channel sounding with my HF rig, with my Flex radio. Right now, I'm in the process. I've written some MATLAB scripts that actually compute the bellow function, so I can look at time variability of the channel. I'm just wanting to see how far I can push this with amateur equipment now that I don't have access to all this expensive lab equipment anymore, and having a lot of fun with it. Love to share with this group in the not too distant future my work right now. I'm right now using channel simulators to kind of look at the results and see how well my codes work. And then I'm going to be probably in the next week or so beginning some evening measurements on the 60-meter band and taking a look at some remote SDRs and see what happens with that. So that's what I'm up to, but having a lot of fun with it.
Very good. I think there'll be a lot of interest in this group. So very good.
Love to present. All right. And yeah, a very knowledgeable group too.
Yeah.
I'm sure get a lot of good technical inputs. Thank you so much.
Okay. Next on the list is Michael Howen, who was not with us last week.
Yeah. I was in Georgia fly fishing and visiting friends and fixing flat tires and doing some other things. Radio wise, it's mostly been doing a little bit of tweaking to some of the documentation for Whisper Demon. I think in the week that I was gone, something must have happened at least to one of the antennas here, so I have to track that down. But it's I'm work on that is under stiff competition from other demands like getting taxes done and doing battle with Russian olive bushes and invading honeysuckle and pampas grass and all sorts of other things that have to get done in the springtime. So condolences to you, Dave, for your loss of your sister, and also Dave for your father's stroke. But uh, I hope we all can enjoy good health while we can, and this is cool. Peace, and back to Net.
Okay. Next on the list, we talked to Paul, so it'd be Phil Karn, K9Q. Go ahead, Phil.
Hey guys, let's see, not much to report here. Still, every time I take a trip, it tends to take me a long time to really get back into the swing of things. Doing my taxes the last minute, like at least some of you. Um, let's see, you might have heard there was an earthquake in San Diego County today, 5.2. And yeah, we felt it here. It certainly got us excited. Interesting thing is that we had quake alerts on our phones, and I got an alert probably 5 seconds or so, I think, before I felt the shaking. So that works. Phones and the internet are good for things other than the social media, I guess. It's actually kind of, I guess we were far enough away that I actually was able to feel it. And unfortunately, the people who were closer who actually got some damage, of course, got less warning time. So that's the problem there. Anyway, I got a question for the group as a whole. I'm giving a talk at Tapper at Dayton for the forum on my on KNIQ radio, and I'm always unsure about exactly what I should try to do as a demo. The problem with demonstrating radios at a place like Dayton is getting an antenna. You really can't. So I'm thinking probably the best thing to do is just to get an internet connection and demo it over the internet. If anybody has any better ideas on things to try, doing it over the internet certainly is easier. I don't have to haul as much stuff with me. But if anybody has any better ideas, please let me know. Anyway,
Well,
that's it. Back to you, Dave.
yep. And I want to compliment you. Last year, you gave a talk at the SDR forum where you used KFS to demonstrate the software. And I thought that was very impressive that we were sitting in a conference room at Hamvention and you were using KFS to feed the signals that you were displaying live. So
Yeah, well, I mean, that's KFS is kind of my demo site of preference these days because the antennas are so good. I keep saying, when you play with the antennas at KFS, you start wondering, why am I bothering putting up an antenna at home?
yeah.
But certainly is a good place to demo. Although I should probably have some backups. I mean, the problem with doing a remote demo like that is, well, first of all, I need an internet connection that works. And second of all, I need a remote site that's working. But I guess if I have multiple sites, I could use any of them.
Yeah. There ought to be some maybe closer that we could use. I don't know if Ackerman has.
Well, it doesn't really matter how close they are. It's just they
Yeah.
have to be available and
Have
work.
have a good connection.
Yeah, and I need to have a good local connect. Well, I have one, by the way, at the forum.
I am unaware yet at this point what they're going to have
I
available.
mean, I can always use my phone
I
as a
think
phone
there
system
is.
when there's 5G service.
I mean,
I think
we
the
have a
site does
net.
have Wi-Fi.
Yeah, but
It may not be fast enough.
Yeah, I'm not
Have to
sure,
test
Dave.
it.
What do you want me to do? Talk at the dinner or banquet or at the forum?
Well, right now we have you for the forum, but I'm not getting
Okay.
any reply for. I'm not. We have you talking at the dinner banquet. Sorry, but I'm not getting a reply out of Paul, the vice president from AMSAT, whether they actually made the reservations with the uh, convention or the center where they cook the
Oh, I
food
mean
and stuff.
the former NCR place.
Yes,
Yeah, the one where you have it every year.
yes, but I'm assuming he acted like the last time I talked to him, he acted like they had that, but he's not sent out any information or I have told him that you would be speaking. If that falls through, you're welcome to take the slot in the Tapper forum.
Yeah, I kind of prefer the forum because
Yeah,
for dinner slots, you want something kind of lighter and more,
yeah.
entertaining. Um,
Well, the trouble is we had three speakers and I only have an hour and 15 minutes in the in the forum, and we needed our other speakers. I didn't have it covered, so we needed somebody that people knew who it was that was talking to
Yeah.
get them to buy a ticket.
Also, these days, it seems like every year we need to do a little, memorial for whoever's gone in the past year. We're getting to that point now where it seems like it's
Yes.
happening every year. So I don't know who you want to allow time for this year.
Yes. Well, I have explored some new speakers that will be new to us, and but actually doing interesting ham stuff. So I'm hoping it'll come to fruition in the next year or two.
Well, good. Before long, there aren't going to be any OS left.
Right. So anyway, so next on the list we have Scott Newell.
Hey, everybody. I've got a busy week planned between taxes, Easter, work projects, and the ARRL FMT is Thursday night. So looking forward to that. Back to net.
Very, very good. And then we have Tom McDermott.
Hey,
Go
good
ahead.
evening, Dave, and everyone in the group. Gonna miss next week. The movers come and next Monday's moving day. So big change. I've got one interesting slide here. I don't know if I can share it. It'll be real quick. So hopefully
I do want to know when you're not moving, Tom.
Yeah, well, I just finished the move here when everything fell apart and the inverse move started happening. So yeah, it's a disaster. I took this picture of my current environment, and the red line at the bottom is a 50 ohm resistor on the front end of the RX 888. And the top line is the signal level on a loop here where I'm currently located. And you'll notice around 4 megahertz, there's about 60 dB excess noise over the background of the receiver.
That's a rather high noise temperature.
Yeah, it's I would call it. I don't need much front end gain. In fact, front end loss might help. This is through a very stout transmitting low pass filter, 30 megahertz low pass filter, which does a wonderful job of knocking down the FM stuff. You can still see some of the FM aliases getting through. I think it's the USB cable into the RX 888. There's the red spikes down up there around 30, 40 megahertz. So my recollection is that the place I'm moving to, the peaks, instead of being 60 dB above the background, are more like about 20 or 25. So hopefully a little bit better receiving location. So that'll be a major improvement. Back to the group.
One question, Tom. Are you staying in the Medford area?
Yeah, the new place, the old place, which is now going to be the new place, is 3.5 miles away. So
okay.
we got 56 van loads moved over the last 3 weeks.
Oh,
and
my
the trucks
goodness.
come next Monday, so I'll probably not be here on Monday. Back to the group.
Thank you. Then we have Rob Robinette. Go ahead, Rob.
Yeah. Good evening. My primary focus in the last week has been I've finished what I believe is the candidate for the Whisper Daemon Grape deployment. That's Whisper Daemon version 3.3.2. I and others have installed it at about 45 of the 115 sites running Whisper Daemon. And so far we've encountered a few error recovery bugs and configuration problems. There's a compile problem with K9Q radio at one site that I worked around. But in general, I'm kind of amazed at how smoothly that deployment went. So The problems now that we've gotten there, of course, for me at least, the goal is to stabilize this and verify that these systems run 24/7 and 365, and if they fail, that they recover themselves, and we did determine that. And there are a number of problems. One of which, for anyone who's deploying a 888, there are times, for reasons I don't understand, where the 888 just disappears from the USB bus, and really the only way you can recover from that is to replug the 888 or power cycle the host that's host that's powering the 888. So if you have a remote site, you really absolutely need to have some way to remotely power cycle your server. Other problems I've encountered are really seem to have to do. I've had several occasions. One of them out at ERC, up at VY0 ERC, which is multicast DNS just stops advertising some of the Radio D services, and the site will continue to report spots and decode and everything, but it'll spit out a whole bunch of errors as it tries to pull the status. So I don't understand that, and I hope that maybe at some time, Phil, when you recover, we might look at some of these sites to see how we might harden Radio D's use of the multicast DNS services. Let's see. The other thing is, I mentioned in emails last week, and I can continue. I've continued to monitor the stability and accuracy of the 888 at RS at WWV, and this is the most recent run. This shows 4 days of recordings. So each 1 minute recording, the software examines the record time, the beginning record time of the 1 minute file, which is in blue, and varies, as you can see, up to over, something like 60 milliseconds of delay from second zero. But whatever the record time, the offset in that recording of the tone burst is always exactly, I think in this case it's 56, or 60 some milliseconds. The absolute value of that will vary depending upon the start conditions, but this offset is the same on all of the channels. So all of the WWV channels on a receiver all have the same offset. So this has led us to believe that there may be ways to calibrate our systems, our WD absolute to absolute time. And if we do it on one band, we'll be able to, that same calibration will apply to all of the bands that are being received, all the signals on that coming from that, in that one multicast stream. So in this case, you're looking at the 10 megahertz WWV. All of the other bands, 2.5 through 25 millihertz, all show the same 60 plus millisecond offset for the same duration. So I think this is a testimony to the quality of Phil's software and implementation. And but it does require, as I've said before, that you have to very carefully specify and configure your 888 environment to obtain these results. And you also need to have a powerful enough CPU. This is an i5 8500. It's a eight core, I think. It's a four core hyper-threaded machine, kind of old. It will not run the 888 at 129 megasamples. If I move this to 129 megasamples, these offsets move around. There are, I think, many reasons to run a 888 at 129, but it means you need to have a powerful enough host, and you need to have appropriate filters ahead of the 888. The built-in 60 megahertz low pass is not sufficient to suppress FM band aliasing. Anyway, that's I'm preparing other subjects. I'm preparing to trip next week. I'm going to Scranton. Elmer and I are going to meet and work with Nathaniel to set up, and I think Jonathan is hoping to join us to set up what I think will be the first of 3 instrument HamSCI DAISY 2 receive site. I think there's a lot of challenges that that we perceive. One of which is we want to be sure that we have all the equipment we could possibly need. So I wondered, I think Nathaniel, Elmer put together a spreadsheet, and we would, I and you ought to look at that and make sure that has the B links, for example, that we need. We expect, I think, 3 B links to be there. Are they going to be available next Tuesday when we arrive? And there are other components
Yes.
we need to.
They're in my office right now, and I'm supposed to give them to Majid tomorrow for him to start trying to put software on them.
Okay. Well, good. Well, I would be happy to help with that. Do you have 3 888s?
No, you said you were going to provide those.
I'm going to bring 3 with me.
Okay.
So, but there's I think there's more things we need to be sure that we have, documented that it maximizes our chance of success during the visit. So anyway, that's I don't know. I have other things that have gone on, but I've taken enough time. We can go into them in a discussion later. I'll send it back. Yes.
Quick comment. I don't have access to a server and a couple of other things for about a week and a half. I found a condition that would always trigger the USB to disconnect on the RX-888. And I found a series of bash commands that I think will force it to re-enumerate. But I didn't get a chance to try that before moving. In the next week or so, I'll try to find that computer and send you that information if that would be helpful.
That certainly would be helpful. Looking at the D messages, if I try to, I forget how I was stimulating them. The current, when this condition occurs, the AAA does respond, but it reports some values. I don't know what they are, but they're ones that are not recognized by the Linux kernel. Okay. So it treats the AAA as a device that it doesn't recognize, so it doesn't list it as a member of the USB bus. But there are some chipsets that I think allow you to control the power on the USB jack going out for the host to control that. I don't believe the B-Link or other mini PCs that I'm aware of have that hardware capability or lack the driver support that allow you to access and control the driver chips, the USB driver chips in that way.
Okay, usually a re-enumeration, there's a pull-up resistor that you toggle the logic level on, which will force the USB to re-enumerate itself. But maybe, are you saying maybe that might not be enough?
Well, it'd be great to any help about this. Is an area that I'm unfamiliar with. I depend upon ChatGPT, the unreliable, hallucinating advisor.
Rob.
All right.
Rob,
when I get access to that computer, I'll send you what I got.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, Rob, the finished paper that I showed you a couple of years ago about the RX-888 describes the problem very well. That's the finished paper, master's or doctoral thesis that described using the 888 for propagation analysis and having exactly this trouble. It's the FX3 that goes out in the weeds.
Yeah, I think the FX3 gets into a
Yeah,
mode where
the only thing you can do is either pull the reset line on the FX3, or you have to power cycle the thing. Those are the only two ways to fix it. And some of the I'm drawing a blank on it. The think centers, you can you can configure in the BIOS to flash the power on the USB ports when it reboots.
Mm-hmm.
But most chipsets don't seem to allow that.
Yeah, I found that I need to power cycle. I encountered this problem at KPH last week, and I could not nothing I could do remotely, and cautioned everyone. I have a web Wi-Fi web controllable power strip out there, a TP-Link. Um, it's disappeared from the Wi-Fi. So I couldn't control the power outlets. So another single point of failure problem. So in planning for Antarctica, and Nathaniel, I intended to join today's meeting, but the link I went to, there was nobody there, so I didn't. I must have the wrong link, but so I was intending to be there, and I know that there's that young man Jeremy at NGIT is not uploading to the PSWS server, and so there's some work to be done with him. So I've encountered other sites like KPH itself is having trouble uploading to the PSWS server. It's really unfortunate that fail to ban is so sensitive on that server, because I I had a problem with DP0, and it turns out because of Antarctica and all of the hops getting there, that just running an SSH command, you get your first response at 10 seconds later. And I was timing out at 5 seconds, so I made that configurable, and I've gotten around it. But I have another fail to ban problem with the KPH server, and I'm just mystified. I don't know why it's failing. I can auto log into it from the command line. I wait a while. I think it takes 15 minutes or half an hour before the PSW fail to ban opens up a public IP. It's just it's an unfortunate, given that we have such a disparate set of devices trying to upload to the PSWS. It's unfortunate that there's this level of sensitivity to login failures. And I don't know if the Grape 1s and Grape 2s uploaders are having this problem, but I do. And so anyway, that's
Have you talked to Bill about this?
I don't know. Yeah, and when it occurs, that it's he's running. I guess maybe the IT department there enforces this. It would be in the Whisper Daemon world. I'm migrating everybody to use WireGuard connections. And one of the advantage of which is you don't have to use fail to ban. It's all UDP. If some intruder, malicious intruder, tries to talk to your site, they don't know that you're even listening, because you send a UDP, and unless you have the right credentials, it doesn't respond. So unlike SSH, which is a TCP-based connection protocol, anybody can determine, just a bot can probe, and they do. They probe every port. You can't hide yourself by moving away from port 22. They probe every port on your host and look for a TCP sync response, and at which point they start pounding away at you. So if you use any TCP based service and you offer it, you're vulnerable to being probed continually. So for that and some other reasons, I've been migrating to the use of WireGuard so as the process, the protocol, and it also really helps because then you know who's logged in when they logged in. You can disable them if they've left your network. It's easy to just remove their certificate from your WireGuard server. So I don't know if that's a solution or, I've thought, well, maybe I should just have my devices, instead of sending directly to PSW, use their WireGuard connection, go to my droplet, which has excellent connectivity, it's on a tier 1 peering point, and won't have these SSH timeout delays, which induce the PSWS to block IP addresses. Anyway, I don't know. I suspect this is an IT department mandate, right, Bill? Is Bill with us? Oh, no, he isn't. John. Yeah.
Yeah, but I can generally bend them to my will if I know what I'm talking about. And this is something that's a little bit outside my area of expertise, but if I can come up to speed on it and know what to ask for, we can potentially make things happen. I've got some notes on this, which I can talk to the OIT guys and let them know we're having a problem if I know how to describe the problem correctly.
Well, yeah. Well, as I say, the problem appears to be that our SSH connections log in, timeout, or fail in some way, and Whisper Daemon retries. Okay, those connections, and when they fail, it waits I don't know if I wait 10 or 15 seconds and retry. And after 3 failures, I think if the fail to ban service picks up the login failures and bans my client for 15 minutes or half an hour or a day or something.
If you're really using fail to ban, which I don't know what you're using on those servers in Alabama.
We are.
Okay, well, it's highly configurable, and everything about it is configurable. It may not be the best solution even then. WireGuard may continue to be a better solution, but just one tool in your back pocket is that you can configure the timeouts, the number of retries, the everything like that. It's a fairly simple tool, but it's very effective. Like on the Linode, I use it pretty effectively, I think.
I've never seen the point to fail to ban myself. I mean, it bans all the failed logins. I mean, I don't care about the failed logins. I want to ban the successful logins that were from an intruder.
Well, it'll log them too.
Well, yeah, it'll log all the successful logins, but I don't want to, block me.
No, but it fails. I'm as clumsy as anybody could be with my own passwords, and so I lock myself out of every machine I have, especially if it has failed to ban on it. But it works.
Well, it works to do what? I mean,
well,
SSH
against
already blocks all the failed login attempts, right? So what's the point?
It blocks bots, from.
What do you mean blocks bots? So does SSH, right? As long as
the blocks, it's typical configuration. 3 attempts to log in. Okay, then that the source of those failed logins gets blacklisted. So
okay, fine. Then what would happen if you didn't blacklist it? It would just continue to fail logging in, right?
Yes. Well, they would continue to attempt and walk through all of
That's my
library of login attempts.
And as long as you use an RSA password or public key password, disable plain text passwords, they're not going to get in no matter what.
Well, another approach, that I, of course, is to disable password logins.
Absolutely. That is
Yeah.
the most important thing you can do on any network-based networked Linux or BSD or Mac OS machine these days. That is the number one thing anybody should do is turn off password authentication. The rest of
Yeah,
it, not so useful.
Yeah, the only problem with that is then how does a new site get its pass its
You copy
public key?
your key, your authorized keys file into place, and as soon as they're all in place, you turn off password authentication.
I know. Well, that's it. But now you're depending. Who's turning off that password authentication?
The guy who's setting up the machine. I do this in every single Raspberry Pi or whatever I
Yeah.
set up, and that every
Hey,
single one.
Phil, you're an internet jock. You know that I
Well,
don't.
but this, I mean, I think actually there are tools for doing this in SSH, but everybody should do this, or there should be a mechanism to do this automatically because that is so important. Turn off password authentication, rely on SSH, and forget everything else.
Well,
Rely on SSH or RSA authentication or public key authentication and forget everything else. Fail to ban is a kludge. It just doesn't do anything useful.
Well,
except he locks you out, if you make
well, it does. It reduces. I mean, I think that it reduces the denial of service attacks. The bots decide you don't like you, and generate
it's
it.
been
Yeah.
designed to ward off the repetitive tries with a variety of different passwords where,
Well, yeah. I mean, turning off password authentication will do the same thing. Even if they guess your password correctly, they won't get in.
Would you like to take that over for me? I'll deputize you.
Huh?
Would you like to take over?
On every machine I use, including some of Rob's, I do this.
I'll sign you up tomorrow, and you can take care of all that.
Well, I mean, do you have your RSA keys in place?
I believe so, yes.
Well, then fine. I can tell you how to, I mean, it's one line in a configuration file, and I'll do it for you if you like.
I think, no, but I think it's setting up new users that's the issue.
Yes, it is.
Like every day.
That is right. That is correct. That is the problem.
And we have 300 users out there now who potentially would all need to be retrofitted with
Well,
that.
typically what I do, or actually most people I know do, is you simply the new user emails a copy of their RSA key, and then the sysadmin puts it into their authorized keys file, and they're in.
Okay, well, let me ask you this: is this something that could be handled by your mother?
Well, not my mother.
No, somebody.
I mean, she's been gone 7 years, but no.
But assuming she was still living, could she do this?
No, but my mother doesn't use this stuff.
Well, see, that's the thing.
She didn't use this
got a
stuff
lot
at
of
all.
non-technical users on the system, and so.
Well, I don't think non-technical users do any of this stuff, to tell you the truth. That's the problem.
Yeah, can Dilbert's mother use it?
Oh, Dilbert's mother, yeah, sure.
Could we close?
You seen Dilbert's mother?
Yeah.
Where Dilbert gets it all from.
That's right.
Could we close the screen share?
Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me. Yes. Sorry.
Yeah, my mother had one of these programmable thermostat, and she had it taken out and put it in a regular one and just set, you set the temperature you want. I mean,
So you may have
the
seen
level
that.
of technical sophistication of a lot of our users. We probably talked about this too much.
Well,
anyway,
I specifically asked for a non-Wi-Fi thermostat when I had my HVAC system updated because I do not trust IoT devices.
Well, yeah,
but they cost more.
Yeah.
Well, we have a Ring camera, but it wasn't my idea. I've grown to like the convenience. But.
So to emphasize what Phil's saying, the bad guys are using something called fast flux, which changes their source IP address every 4 seconds. And so that kind of defeats fail to ban as well.
Yes, that makes fail to ban completely pointless.
Yeah, so that turning off password and using a key is certainly the preferred way.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that they changed their source IP addresses in a botnet means that there's nothing that fail to ban can do except lock you out accidentally.
Yeah, Bill, this seems like something that could be part of the registration process when you create a new server and device. you could actually create a public, a private public key. And just as there's, instead of giving the password, right, to the user um, on their, you could give them their private key, or their public key or something, some way. It seems like that you are already on the PSWS server, requiring people to understand how to copy and paste the password that you created, that the PSWS server created.
The biggest problem I've encountered with people in SSH is people who use only Windows don't seem to do it much. So they'll put up PuTTY, they'll create a private public key pair. I'll set it up, and then a year later, they'll ask me how to get in because they've forgotten their passphrase because they never use it. That's the big problem.
Yeah. Well, these are servers, whether they're Grape 1, 2, or Whisper Daemon Grapes servers, that are being configured by a user with a modest amount of, at least familiarity with running a web page, and they have to do this copy and paste of a key,
Look,
private
Rob,
key,
you're the
the
expert in
password.
shell programming, right?
Yeah, that's me.
That's you.
I'm not good at web programming, and I don't have any
Shell
familiar with the
programming.
grape 1 or 2, but it would be a good thing. It really, let's see. Yes, you'd have to turn off the problem is I set up all the Whisper Daemon Grapes as I automatically set up uh, uh, private key, public key logins for those accounts. It's those auto login events that are failing. And if there were a way to configure the fail the ban or SSH or something, a combination up on the server to say, if an auto login fails, don't ban it, or because my auto logins are failing. It's not that I'm giving bad passwords. It's the auto login process to the PSWS server
Okay.
that's failing.
Okay.
Okay. So and I don't think that's an event that should be treated the same way as a failed password login.
Good point.
So if there were a way, and Bill, if you want me to talk to your IT department about this, I'd be happy to talk to them, because I think this is going to be an increasing problem as we try to go into Grape Daisy 2 deployments. This failure to log in it persists. At least I don't know how the Grape 1 and 2 is treated, but Whisper Daemon just sits there and tries. I've been thinking of putting some back off mechanism in there. In fact, I thought I did at one point and backed off. I had to back off, I think, more than a day. And I stopped trying for more than a day, at which point I was able to successfully auto log in.
It is trying to use public key authentication, right?
Yes, public key authentication. Yeah. So that's so it just seems like treating a public key authentication failure, login failure, should be treated differently than a password a login failure.
Well, if fail to ban is so highly configurable, we might be able to configure it to tolerate that, and maybe even, for example, be more tolerant. Maybe we have to find out what the IP addresses of the devices are that you're having a problem with, and be more tolerant of logins coming from them.
Yeah, well, it's I think I think that talking through this, I think that if there's a way, maybe I'll search for it. If there's a way to configure fail to ban, so that failures of login failures that are for public key login attempts failures should not be treated as should not generate a fail to ban event.
Well, nothing should, but that's my opinion.
Yeah. Okay. Well, in any case, it's up. I mean, that would be a minimal change to it, and it might your IT department, Bill, might be more comfortable with that change. if it's possible. I don't know. I'm not that expert. You know, I run fail2ban on my Linux servers, and I'm really want to get them off. I'm in the process of trying to get rid of all of the public IP address access to the Whisper Daemon
I
servers.
believe I have turned off password authentication on all the KFS machines. I don't know about KPH. I
Well,
certainly did it on my own machines a long time, years ago.
yeah, it's there are other people logging into those machines, Phil. So
KFS, well, maybe, well, obviously,
yeah, KFS. I
I mean,
think
I
we
did this
need
a
to
while
keep-
ago, so obviously you must all have SSH public
Yeah.
keys.
Yeah.
But their problem, of course, is even if you do everything by shell, I mean, is that somebody's going to give you a hard time by saying, "Oh, I want to log in from Windows. Can you set up PuTTY to do this?" And that's the problem I always have.
Yeah, but you have to teach them how to use PuTTyGen and then add the PuTTyGen. It's
use a real operating system, but hey, that's another topic another day.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Hey, I got to run. But before I do, pardon me for interrupting. I just wanted to show this off. I forgot to mention that we built 6 more of these whisper songs. So and I got a few more already built. These are.
Hey, Paul, if you're looking for a home for one of them, I can find out for you.
I'd be happy to have a home for any of these, and Nathaniel kind of has first dibs on them, but I'm not sure when and how many. So as long as we don't jeopardize Nathaniel's program, I'd love to send one out.
Well, we have let's see. So I mean, we have a map of where roughly we'd like to put them. And so if it matches, if that location matches where the map says, close enough, we could purchase them with the grant and then deploy them to those locations.
Do you have any in Southern California?
I don't think we do yet. Gary, do you?
I can query about 2 places.
Gary, how are we? I haven't really talked to you about fielding whisper songs yet, have I? I don't think we can hear you.
With no voice.
That's a new one on me.
Okay. Yeah, so where, let me bring up my map really quickly.
I can put one up in North Dakota.
I mean, that would probably, I don't think we have any of them up anywhere. So, I mean, we can start filling these things out.
I'm in no hurry to, I'd love to get them out there actually doing something. But
yeah, no,
we can take our time, but also, if I could, at this point, I could deliver, I think 10 of them. Got a couple more out, one went, I guess the one that's in Antarctica now at the German site is this type of whisper song. But anyway, I need to know if we're going to need more than, let's say, 10 of them. I need to start making them. But if we're not going to need them, there's no point in me building something that nobody's going to need.
Here's, I found the map. Share. Okay. So here's the map that I have. I said we would buy 10 of them, and it says that we've got one in Southern California already. Is that true?
That's the Bay Area you're pointing to.
Right over here?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's more San Francisco.
The red star at the bottom.
It's the yellow X that is the whisper sound,
Mm-hmm.
or the X's anyway.
Yeah.
So one looks like at Paul's house in in the
What
Bay
says
Area.
NLK? What does that mean?
That's a VLF transmitter.
Yeah.
Okay.
So those are the locations of the VLF transmitters.
Did we recover the one that was in Michigan?
No, that's a legal tussle.
Okay. So that one's not real on your map.
Is
now.
the NLK, is that the one in Jims Creek or Washington?
So
Yes.
the
Uh,
so
Again,
roughly, I
unless
mean,
unless now is a good time to do this, you know, don't. I don't need an answer right now, but if you want to go through this, that'd be great.
yeah, I mean, maybe we can talk about that over the next couple of weeks.
I mean, the key to me is if we want to approach somebody who wants to host one of these, which is fantastic, but they need some details on what type of antenna they may want to put up and so on and so forth. I can't just tell them, yeah, this blue box and you plug in, it's magic. So.
Right.
We've got I've got some details just in the user's guide on the thing, but and we talked about what in the original your grant proposal covered, you know, most of that equipment, you know, the
Well,
antenna and the other stuff.
I think the thing, okay, I think we should look at it this way. If we have people in this particular group who are willing to host these things, I think we should get them out to those people, because the people in this group are going to be most likely the technical people that can actually make them work.
Well,
So
I'm currently running them at 2 sites, one in Friday Harbor, and that 2 of them I'm running on 10 different bands here in Occidental. So if we want, and I'll donate those, you know, they're running now, they're mine, but if you want to, you know, consider those 2 locations set up, they are.
yeah,
We have a
that
6-channel Whisper Demon site in Columbia, Missouri, but we could expand that one. And I can set one up in Fargo. As I said, it looks like there isn't one. Well, there was a proposed one up there.
Gary, since you are keeping the spreadsheet of where the Whisper Demon receivers are going, can you also keep a spreadsheet of where the Whisper Son transmitters are?
Yeah, absolutely.
And do you think we can start with this group, find out who wants to host these things and kind of what the details are of their site? And I would be very inclined to send them out to the people in this group first. And the main goal, when we put those X's on the map, the main goal was to spread them out across the United States. So as long as we spread them out across the United States, that's the major goal. That's one goal. The other goal that would be really nice, which you did pick up on, is we put some of them right by the same locations where there are VLF transmitters. So NLK, NML, NAA, NAU, NPM. The reason we put X's there is so that there'd be a whisper sound right next to a VLF transmitter. So it would be really nice if we could still find sites near those, and then also a site near WWV. But aside from that, the X's were pretty much put on the map just to distribute things fairly evenly across the United States.
Oh, I mean, we do have one right now running at WWV location. How close is close enough for NLK? I'd have to look at the map to see exactly how close my Friday Harbor location is, but
Yeah.
you know, it's on the map, it's pretty close.
Yeah, I mean, it may be close enough. I actually have a yellow X under there already.
Okay.
So, I mean, if it's probably like 50 miles or, 100 kilometers or so, that's probably pretty close.
I'll look it up. I'll do an as the crow flies measurement and see where I am relative to that.
Yeah. But
so anyway, my main concern isn't so much finding homes for these, which would be nice, but it's running out. If we need more of them, it takes a while. So I want to make sure that I don't become a bottleneck on this deployment.
And they're soon going to cost a lot more.
I'm sorry?
They're soon going to cost quite a bit more.
Probably. We'll find out. Could be under the electronics. I don't know.
Yeah,
I've
nobody knows. Keep in mind, one of our goals at the Dayton Hamvention is going to be to talk to people, because we get a lot of people from all over the U.S. there. So a month from today, I'll be driving to Dayton, and that's when we'll be doing a lot of our outreach.
Yeah.
And
But,
I'll be there. And I'll have one of these on display, and I can talk for hours about it.
Yeah, but I mean, I think the main thing is getting them spread out across the United States, and then you can see them trying to prioritize putting them in the same locations that we have other beacons. And the thought here is that if we could put them over by like where the VLF beacons are, then these receive sites that we're putting out are going to be able to receive both the VLF signals, and they'll be able to receive the GPS disciplined whisper and FT8 spots that these systems can put out.
Yeah. Okay. Again, I don't want to run out. So
yeah,
as we figure out how many we need,
yeah,
try to give me some advance notice.
So I mean, in the grant, I said I'd deploy 10 of them.
And I will have 10 of them for you. And actually, again, if my Friday Harbor and Occidental California locations are acceptable, I mean, that's 2 locations right there already set up.
Yeah.
And the WWV location is already set up. I don't know if you need anything more there.
Right. So no, I mean, I think that's good. So then I guess the question is, I budgeted for 10 of these things. So if we want to, use those, say those ones that already exist, they already exist. And if we want to purchase 10 more and deploy those, or if we, if we need to purchase.
That's your call. But I think Rob, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the WWV guys might appreciate being part of this and maybe getting compensated or paying for it. Actually,
I think that is more continuing
it'd be more me getting
cost.
paid for it. Yeah.
Well,
true. I gave it to him. So.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it would be, I think it'd be nice if you got paid for it. And Nathaniel, Dave Schwartz has mentioned that, especially the guy who's out at the receive site, the transmit site doesn't use any bandwidth. I mean, if it uses 10 kilobytes a day, I'd be surprised, because we don't log into it and it doesn't communicate unless we log in.
Right.
But the receive site does upload 25 megabytes of data, and some other things. Now that I have software deployed, I can go and look at maybe turning off some of the less important services that consume bandwidth, uploading graphs. There's graphs that are 250 kilobyte graphs uploaded every 10 minutes, so that we don't need those. And so I will actually think about doing that right away too. I promised, but anyway, Dave hinted that our host out there who owns the farm had to pay, was charged an extra $20 by his internet service provider, and we in no way want to ask him to be so.
That's a critical what do you call it? That's a critical control site, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I have the a B-Link that I have almost, I intend to ship maybe this week. I'll ship it out to Dave for installation out there.
Okay.
So I guess, can I send you or Celicia an invoice or whatever for it?
For the B-Link?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. Okay, let me do that this week in case the Musk and companies come after us. I wouldn't like to be. I would not appreciate being holding the bag on it. So
No, definitely.
anyway, the yeah, that site is absolutely critical, I think, and we've learned so much. I think I mentioned Paul is. I think you put together a design. Is he still with us? Yeah, there you are. For a, we think based upon the quality of that chart I showed there, it seems quite possible we could create a signal based upon this that is at every ARC site that would allow us to get absolute time accuracy on our recordings within, I think, milliseconds. Scott can tell us. I think it's obviously it's a function of the modulation type and the duration of the measurement. But there was a design that I think was derived. Clint has been contributing to this discussion, and he and Paul could and Scott could comment more knowledgeably than I. But it seems like we could, using that stimulus, a very inexpensive little stimulus, we could dramatically increase the temporal resolution of the wave files that we're recording. And
Yeah, I mean it's basically a reference time reference signal, and the question is how quickly, what's the modulation we can do on it. It's just, it's injecting a signal in at the antenna terminal, and I'm sure that in the hardware, the cheap hardware, we can get, sub-millisecond, probably tens of microsecond type of accuracy. Question is what about at the receiver software end of things? And that's, beyond my ability. So I'm not sure what can be done there. But I'm looking forward to participating in this design. I think it could be pretty simple. And I like simple.
well, it would be. I think it would. Again, the scientists here. I'm looking at you, Nathaniel, and and Tom and others. You know, the people that tell us how valuable increasing the temporal resolution of the WWV recordings is. I mean, it seems possible they could, yeah, we could gain at millisecond accuracy gives you 186 miles of resolution on time of flight, arrival time. And if we could do better than that, if you could do 100 microseconds, we're now talking about 18, 0.6 mile, 30, 30 kilometer resolution for time of flight. Seems like it would be a pretty useful capability to be add to the system, and it can. Well, it needs to be incorporated. You have to monitor every time you start up a record session. There's a different offset. So there's no guarantee of what the offset is. It's only guaranteed to be the same once it starts. Once you start a PCM record, it is always time synchronous. Every 1 minute it starts at the same offset from second zero. So it's actually ahead of second zero in a way. So it seems like a valuable thing. I was hoping that Phil Erickson and others might sound more excited, but they haven't responded to the group emails about it. So
Yeah, I think we're just so overwhelmed with emails.
I'm sure he is.
And, it's a disaster. Yes.
Okay, I've got some hardware here that, early prototypes of Beacon Blaster and all that has all the components that we would need for this, and a whole lot more stuff we don't need. But anyway, it's a good platform, and I was So I'm planning in the next few days to run some tests, see how much I can tighten up the timing, and see if my estimates as to the timing accuracy, the 100 microsecond or better accuracy is actually doable, the way I anticipate doing it. So probably by this time next week, I'll have some more coherent thoughts on how we might accomplish this.
That sounds
Okay.
good.
So Washington. I'm sorry, I'm talking to myself.
I'm sorry, I'm starting to lose it. It's now getting to be 10:30.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so our current do you want to show the spreadsheet to me of the checklist spreadsheet now of things that I need to have for
I think you should have an email from Elmer that includes a
from
link to
Elmer.
the Google spreadsheet that he created.
I had not forwarded. I was waiting for you, Rob.
Okay. Well, then just
because
add.
your data wasn't on there yet.
Oh, okay. Well, then that's okay. Well, let's go share it with Nathaniel right now so that he sees it. And let's see if I bring up a sheet. Maybe I can. If you gave me permissions, I can. Let's see. Let's see. I can't find out. I don't see it in my info pick.
Nathaniel, the distance from Oso, Washington, which is where NLK is to my house, if I were driving, it would be 75 miles, and it's a lot shorter than that as far as radio waves are
That's
concerned.
probably good enough.
Well, you got a site then for there.
That's awesome.
Nathaniel,
keep it away from your receiver.
I clicked on share with you. I'm a neophyte, so.
Okay, you clicked share with me. Let me see. Okay.
I found it. Okay, I'm on there.
And do you share with my Gmail or my Scranton?
Scranton antenna install is the name of the spreadsheet.
Okay. Hey, I got to go now. Thanks, everybody.
Bye, Paul.
I don't see it yet.
Come on, Scranton. People access. Hey.
I don't see you. I'm going to add. I don't see Nathaniel shared here.
Because I had done it, but apparently it didn't.
Here.
If this is a Gmail or if this is a Google Doc, then the best thing to do is to share it with my Gmail address, which is mafrizel@gmail.com.
Okay, hang on a second. I just shared it with your Scranton.
Okay.
Let's see. I'll remove that. Remove access for that. Let me do.
Yeah, apparently I did Scranton, but I'll wait. I won't click.
Don't click. I just sent it off.
I'm standing by.
Okay, there it goes. It's in your Gmail account. All
right, I heard a buzz.
It's a sheet.
Okay. There it is. Okay.
So, do you have any 888s for this, or you need?
I think you should bring 3.
Oh,
I have one here, but it's not showing up on this computer. We do have another one at the university, potentially.
Of course, it'd be nice to have one running there. So, but so you only have one broken one and one that's at the university.
Yeah, I have two at the university, but one I could take from the university. So I could
Okay.
leave one at the university and take the other one here.
Okay. Well, I'll bring 3.
Okay.
I just put it. Yeah, I see.
And then
You see,
and then I can buy you new ones.
Yeah, we better order them soon.
Yes.
Um,
So I shouldn't bring any. I don't need to be a backup.
no, you don't need to be. You don't need to
Should
be.
I
a
just
backup.
order like 20 of them?
I think it would be wise, given the tariff environment.
Yeah.
Well, that plays the game of, did the tariff kick in or is it going to get pulled?
Yeah, it's
$100 question per.
145% tariff on a $160 device.
Okay,
It's
it's $200.
it's it's $200 extra per device. I think you should order them. They're we know we you know you're committed to this Daisy 2 deployment. Order them and get yourself reimbursed from the NSF as well you can.
And I'm going to just throw out there, because the antenna selection is still open, and that's what it is. It's open. But I don't know what the impact is going to be on any of the systems that are antennas.
They're relatively, but the cost on those is relatively small relative to the cost of the 888s. The 888s and the B-Links are the biggest cost items in this deployment, right? In terms of hardware costs.
But even, can you get them? Because there was, yes.
Well, Dave McCaw has that vendor that he likes. It seems very reliable, and I think they're out of Hong Kong or near Hong Kong.
For RX 888s?
For RX 888s.
Yeah.
I think
it's called Ella Kitzer Parts.
Yeah.
Oh, they're good. I bought my last 2 from them.
Yeah, I think they actually know what they're dealing with.
And they replace if you have a failure.
Wait, what is this, David?
I'm gonna put the let's see, Ella Kits.
Ella Kits or parts. Okay. Kits or parts.com. And
Yeah.
they have RX 888s.
Mm-hmm. Let's see what else I was going to bring in. Let's see. I was going to. Oh, Paul left us. Is he gone? Yeah. I think we'll need a clock distribution for Bogner clock to the 3 888s. I have this GPS distribution won't help. I better talk to Paul about.
Should I get Glenn to send a filter just in case? Because the Paul filter has an amp. The filter I'm using does not have amp for SAS.
Let's see. Oh yeah, I have RF distribution. This is 27 megahertz distribution that we need.
Well, we have a lull. Phil, where exactly are you?
All right. That's looking.
Maybe Phil's not there.
I think he's in San Diego. He's back home.
Somebody asked for me?
Yes.
Sorry, I was out of the room for a bit.
It's okay.
What do you want to ask me?
Your microphone.
Well, I just unmuted.
That's a good price for the RX 888s.
What are they offering it at?
170.
Yeah, that's what they've been offering it at. So
Not bad.
Just gotta watch. Some of those are selling old and new, and they won't tell you which one.
yeah.
Oh,
What do you mean? This is from
somebody
the
putting in an order for more of them?
I'm about to order more. So this is this is from the Elekits or parts link that David just put in the chat.
Yeah, they've always shipped me a
I mean,
latest
I've
unit.
got 3 of them. I've only ever really used one.
Mhm.
But it's one of those things where you're kind of tempted to stock up, especially if the price is going to double.
Yes. I'm wondering. So 150 times equals divided by 1. I might order 30 of them. So
So, Phil, I'm curious, where are you in California?
San Diego.
Oh, you are. So you were pretty
Yeah.
close.
Yeah. And yeah. Oh, you mean through the earthquake?
Yeah.
Yeah. The earthquake just south of Julian. We are near La Jolla.
Oh,
So I
okay.
guess we were far enough away for the propagation delay to be long enough for us to get warning in advance of it. So I don't remember. I mean, my memory for this kind of thing is probably not good, but I think it was at least a 5-second delay between the warning on my phone and the actual shaking.
Yeah. Well, my brother is in Huntington Beach, and he quoted 3 seconds delay from morning to
Really? Huntington
feeling it.
Beach seems farther away. Let me look at a map.
Yeah, you would be. The
Um,
oddest thing was that I knew about it instantly because I was listening to a interview on the program Here and Now on public radio.
yeah.
And they were talking to a guy in LA, and he said on the air in real time, "Oh, I just got an earthquake alert." But then they kept talking. There clearly
Yeah.
was some propagation delay to
Huntington
where he
Beach is
was.
definitely farther away. Let me see. It was just south of Julian. Let me see where Julian is.
Hey,
Yeah, it's
I was going to interrupt so I
sort
don't
of
forget.
northeast.
Let me interrupt just before I don't forget. Hey, Robinette, with the RX 888s, we need the clock modification, thermal pad modification.
Yes. Good point. I will bring those. Good.
Yeah,
I
but
have
we're talking, yeah, for this one, but Nathaniel's ordering
I
30.
I have actually I don't think I have enough for 30. You're right.
No, I'm sure you don't, but I'm just, that's why my point is.
I have about 20. I have about 20 of them. But I have to count them.
Well, how much are in TAPR stock?
I don't know. I think George would know, not me.
Yeah. I mean,
that should be a separate worksheet here. You could add another worksheet if you wanted to put in your Daisy 2 buy on this or wherever you want, Nathaniel. But anyway, this is.
What's up?
We could add another worksheet for Daisy 2 buys.
Yes.
Here,
Okay.
this is, let's rename this. And add another one. We'll call. You're seeing me do this, right?
I'm writing Sleuth an email right now
Okay,
asking her to
okay.
order these things. But
Okay.
I estimate 145 kilometers from the earthquake to Huntington Beach. It's about 60 from the earthquake to me.
yeah, well, our estimates of time vary.
Yeah, well, I mean, it might have been also network delays too. It was definitely
Right. Oh, true. Yeah.
the warning definitely arrived before the shaking.
Right.
So I'm just curious what the network delay is within the network, because this is the first time I've ever gotten one. It was unfamiliar alert on my phone. I didn't recognize the tone.
Oh, interesting.
It was this unfamiliar alert, and then a few seconds later, I got that standard three-tone alert sound that the FCC is so picky about or snickety about. You've heard about that. If you let that thing
Oh,
go
yeah.
over the air for anything other than a real alert or a test, they will fine you. They were really sensitive about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we get alerts here too.
Earthquake alerts?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, occasionally, believe it or not, we do get earthquakes.
Well, I know earthquakes happen.
We had a 5 something just recently.
I know earthquakes happen there.
We're not far from the Madrid fault here.
Yeah.
Right. But New England is still rebounding since the last ice age, I understand.
Well, yeah.
That's where the energy's coming from.
Yeah. Well, I
Okay.
went to.
But I felt we've had a 6.5 up in Quebec City.
Mm.
And we felt that down here.
I know about the ice sheet because I went to Cornell.
Right. I
So-
learned about that in 3rd grade.
Rob,
Yeah.
I want to go to bed shortly. So
Yeah,
just
I
looking
do.
at this spreadsheet for okay, so anything that has my name next to it, I'm supposed to have here, right?
Yeah, the mast. Do you have the mast?
Yep, it arrived.
Oh, good. And you have the B links.
Yes, I've
And
got 3 of
you have
those.
you have an IGMP switch.
The one you told me to order, it's in my
Okay.
office.
Oh, good. Okay, then I don't know what I don't know what the 12-volt power is about.
Oh,
but-
he said that he had power there that we could do distribution, but I didn't know if he had the
Okay.
cables to do the power to the devices.
Okay.
We could probably work something out for that. I feel like
I have
we
a
could.
bunch of pigtails, you know.
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
I have a power poles, a rig runner under my desk here that could power that. It's always connected to
Okay.
They're
12
just not going to be
volts.
isolated. That's all.
And you have the Bogner, right, Nathaniel?
I have a Bodner.
Okay, so you need we need a distribution to take it's a single output Bogner?
Yes.
Okay.
So how do you know L Kits or Parts has 30 of these? They don't have anything to indicate how much of them they have in stock.
I don't know. I just put 30 in. I said add to cart, and it added 30 of them to my cart. So
Does that include spares?
yeah, I was including spares. So in the grant, we're currently budgeted to buy 25, to field 25 of them. I had budgeted $250 a unit for it. So, you know, they're a little cheaper. I just figured I'd order 30 because that'll give us a couple spares.
I think, yeah, we're gonna need, I need to order some of that thermal padding.
So then,
Yeah. It's funny. I can add 9,999 to the cart, and I don't think that's even the biggest number they take.
well, we'll see what happens.
But it's a work day for them, so they should
Yeah.
respond.
So are we modifying these then to remove the bias? So
Oh,
that
yes.
there has a,
Yes, yeah.
who is modifying? 30
Majid,
units.
maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe
we can
Majid.
get Majid to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, he can lift the parts.
He could do the external clock mods as part of that. Do the whole
Okay.
thing.
Yeah,
we can
he has some experience with it. He may need a little more training, but once he gets it down, he is very meticulous.
Okay, that's.
Do you have a
that's-
hot air tool, Nathaniel?
Like a heat gun?
No, hot air. It's a surface
It's a
mount
more
device.
focused than a heat gun.
At my house.
It looks like this.
Or-
Hold on. Wait.
I
Oh,
don't
come
see
on,
it.
fingers. It looks like this.
A hot air rework tool is what you're referring to.
I see. I don't have one at my house. You might have one at the university. It
Yeah,
looks like it's easy to get one.
Yeah, you should look for one. That's what it's Very handy for pulling surface mount parts off.
EAE sells refurbished Hackos.
Okay.
Who does?
You know the guy that always shows up at Dayton in the flea market with all of the soldering stuff.
Ah,
I
we'll have to
I picked up a
take a look at.
refurbished Hacko hot air station from him a couple of years ago.
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Not, when I went, he wasn't selling any of the refurbished tackle, at least not um, the FM 2700 series.
Hackos are expensive.
This, yeah, the one I got from him is a Hacko 851.
Hacko 851. So those usually go for about $700.
Well, new.
New, yeah.
Yeah.
I bought a whole rework station with IR, heat plate, hot gun, soldering iron, all that for like 420.
It's still probably better than the ones that you see like on Amazon for like $50.
Yeah. So basically looking at this spreadsheet, everything that has my name next to it, I have here.
Great. Okay. And the only thing that I think we're missing is Paul's distribution amp.
Okay.
And I'm emailing him. Maybe he can ship it directly to you.
Okay.
You're talking about the clock distribution.
Yeah, this is clock distribution. I have a GPS RF distribution I'll bring along, but I don't think you need it.
No, I think I have enough GPS RF distribution.
Well, you're
here.
only feeding one Bodner anyway, so.
No, I have a bunch of Bodners under here.
Yeah. So what about
Do you think you'll need any core comms, Rob?
No, I don't think so. The DXE it puts up pretty hot signals. We need to pad it, if anything.
And I said core comms.
RFI.
Corcom.
RFI.
Cork. I was thinking qubits.
They won't help you with VLF, but
I think you need to. Elmer's working on the VLF stuff, and I think he will have a solution.
I mean, but yeah, but almost every shack is RF noisy unless they have made efforts otherwise.
Let me see if I can find. That's a good point. Maybe I'll put it on the list. Just something I could bring, but we'd have to cobble it together.
I'm going to bring a battery along just to play.
I will bring my bag of lipos that I use for testing. Before I hook up. Oh, that's bigger than anything I have.
It'll run the station for a week.
Yeah. No, those are a good choice because you can.
Oh, filters. Back to the filter. So you have the one with the amp in it, but what about Glenn's non-amped? That's what I've been using and qualified.
Yes, I know.
Should I ask Glenn for one or
yes.
two or
I
whatever?
I think we should get some of those. You're right.
I see what he has available.
See what he has available. Yeah, because we're going to need. Yeah, we're going to need low pass filters. Yeah, we're gonna run these at 129. So we're going to need 64 megahertz low pass, and we'll need this Homer. I don't think Paul's is useful because he has an amplifier in it, and we don't really need that. That would.
I'll see if he responds. I just sent off a short one because he was asking all along. He's the only one that has one that's, I quote, qualified.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have one combiner for the shack board, so that's all we really need.
Well, we've got. Well, won't we need it for all three of the?
No,
Well,
you don't
one
have
trip.
No, shack board's only on the SAS. The
There's
other
only
antenna,
one. There's going to be one SAS.
right, and the DX and the loop or something that's being installed, right?
Are we bringing out a loop? Is that the third one, Nathan? Okay.
Yes.
Well,
But they're on their own. They don't have a shack board, other than they have a bias. And
they have
I
a bias
assume
T injector.
I assume you're running bias out to the DXE as opposed to running separate power, which is not
Yes.
the best.
300 feet. Is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
they recommend separate power, but whatever, we'll try.
Okay.
Battery. Just remember battery.
Did we get everything?
I think so.
Okay.
I'm going to bring 100 feet of Cat 5 already made up, weatherproof, just in case, in case.
Anything else?
Not that I can think of. I built enough clamps, printed them that we can do 3 antennas worth. And I'm going to bring out the wire for the SAS to make the poles, soldering iron, solder, pigtail wire, whatever else we need. As far as the DXE and the loop, I don't know what's in the kit. If we need anything else, adapters from F to whatever, or B and C to whatever.
I think I should have those around.
Okay.
How far is AM broadcast from you?
Probably about, I'm guess about 5 miles.
Oh, geez, I'll bring an AM filter just in case. Good Lord. Maybe.
Yeah, I have some with me, but they're in my kit. I've got some FM blocking filters, distill AM blocking, and they distill AM blocking, but yours are likely to be better.
No, I doubt it. I'll just bring them just in case. I'm gonna. I don't need to bring an. I forget the the guy that built it, but LF, MF, HF amplifier. Just leave that here or bring it.
They're small.
Yeah, it'll fit in the box. All right.
WEJL 630 kilohertz is, I think, right in Scranton, Pennsylvania.
Also, Nathaniel, 1400 kilohertz. That just kind of came on the air. That's pretty strong.
Do you know where that is?
That's also in the Scranton area.
Okay.
Hey Rob, I'm going to build another low Z or medium Z antenna amplifier just for giggles.
Nathaniel, you can go onto the FCC website and find out all the AM stations that are near you. Ordered by distance. What is it? AM broadcast finder or something
Well,
like that.
nothing we can do about it now. Elmer's bringing all of the, the tools that we could use to address ham overload.
All I have is AM overload, FM overload.
FM overload is almost worse than AM overload.
Oh, it creates all kinds of mushrooms.
Yeah.
But on the SAS, you get that phase problem if you start to saturate, and it just causes all kinds of other weirdness.
Okay, guys, I need to take off on this end. Thank you, Elmer, for creating the spreadsheet and stimulating us to this discussion.
Yes.
We needed
Thank
to
you
do
very
this.
much.
Yeah.
And you're all set for your hotels and everything?
Yeah, I think so. I wanted to check that I actually have a ticket. I know that I got a schedule. I just didn't see that I had a boarding pass or something, but I'll look at that tomorrow.
Okay, yeah, and just ask Chris Lisa if you need help.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, and Rob, I'll pick you up.
The university
Okay.
will be closed Thursday and Friday. So and Monday as well, I think. So for the Easter holiday. So my plan is so I'm not going to be on this call next week. But so my plan is basically to see you once I drop my kids off for daycare and school. I will meet up with you, and I have cleared out my schedule so my whole day can just be working with you guys.
Okay, so we're going to come out to your place. We're going to meet at your house?
Yes.
Okay, we have your address.
I'll get that to you.
Okay, Elmer's driving, so he's going to pick me up at the airport on Monday, and we'll come out and visit you, on Tuesday morning, bright and early. Well, I don't know what time. You're not bright and early. You need to tell us what time to
Where's
arrive.
the Cracker Barrel? I just wonder where the Cracker Barrel is.
There's not a the closest Cracker Barrel is down in Wilkes-Barre, so it's about 30 miles south. Are you staying at the Hilton or the Radisson?
Ooh.
I think it's
details.
Radisson.
Well, don't worry about it. You're getting in Monday afternoon.
Monday afternoon. I think I get in 4:30, 5 o'clock.
Okay, I'll touch base with you on Monday. So I'm going to Rachel's house, which is in near Pittsburgh, over the weekend, and we're driving back on Monday. So once I get back and kind of settled in, I'll touch base with you and try to maybe I'll even get a chance to see you Monday night too. So, but I have to make sure like my family is all settled and everything. But and then we can hopefully touch base on Monday night, and then we can kind of make sure you're all settled and things like that. Yeah. The breakfast at the Radisson I know is very good. So yeah.
It's a nice atmospheric place too.
It is, yeah, the old train station.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
All right.
I think thanks for all the suggestions from everyone.
Thank you, everyone. I really appreciate it.
Okay.
So I'm going to jump in there and ask Jonathan if he wanted to talk about any.
Okay, I'm going to bow out myself.